So this is the last question of midterm version C. It's again it's the same as midterm B. It's the cake cutting game. So you will be thinking A and B has the same question. Probably not. So think about one thing. I had player A and player D. So where is player B and C? So that's all the hint I want to give. Let's go to this particular question. So this one is a lot easier than the other ones because there are only two actions, either accept or reject. So accept or reject, where is it? So reject, accept, or accept or reject. So we have proposal 1, 2, 3. So X piece is to D and take the rest for himself. So 1 means I give 1 to my sister and I have 8 left. So I don't want to make the same mistake. There's a 0 here. So 4 and so on until 9. After each one I can accept, reject. So I got to this ugly tree again. But I only draw some of them, accept or reject. So what do I want to do? So if I reject, then I'll get 3, right? Because the dad will come and evenly split this thing because there are 3 people now, so each one gets 3. So the optimal thing, so the dominant thing is I would want to accept if it's larger than 3 and reject if it's not. So probably the best thing I can do is 0, 1, 2, I reject. The third one I don't really care. I can accept or I can reject. So in particular, maybe I'll accept it. And all of the other ones, if I'm given 4, I mean, I'm the sister, so suppose I will be accepting all of them. Basically, if it's smaller than 3, I want to reject, because after I reject, I get 3 at least. If I don't reject, then I get 0 or 1 or 2. So these ones, this is, I get 0 piece, 1 piece, 2 piece. 3 piece, I don't care. 4 piece, I definitely want to accept. If I reject, I get 3. If I accept, I get 4. So that's the best thing. This dominates something. Dominates something. Well, if I change any of the accept to reject, then it dominates, right? So that's one way to do it. But if I reverse all of them, obviously it's dominated. But the problem is there's a 3, so they don't dominate each other. That's why it's weakly dominated. Not after all history is dominated, but this is dominated. This is dominated by this. So it's the same as the other version. You always want to specify what this is dominated by. So whenever the question is asking for weakly dominated strategy, first thing, always specify a strategy. And a strategy for player D contains 9 actions, one after each history. Sorry, 10 actions, one after each history. So specify a list of 10 actions. That's the first important thing. Second, always remember what this is dominated by. So as I said, if you change any one of the A into R, it's still weakly dominated. Or if you change one of the R to A, it's strictly dominated. I mean weakly dominated as well. So that's the first part. The second part, finding SPE. So we said that the best choice for the second person is A. I mean, I got reversed again. So R, I always reject if it's less than 3, and I always accept it's larger than 3, and so on. So what's brother's best response? So I get rejected here is not that good. So the first time I get an accept, I will get 3. So I propose 3, I will get 6 for myself. Then that's good. So that's the largest I can get. Because if I propose 2, and for me 7, then my sister will reject me, so then I only get 3. So I don't want to propose even smaller, so the smallest I want to propose is 3. Right? So if I propose 4, then I get less, I get 5. So 5 compared to this, I give my sisters 3, I get 6. 6 is better than 5, so I want this the most. Going further will result in a rejection. Going that way will decrease my payoff. That's why this is the best response. So this is the SPE. So one Nash equilibrium that's different. I mean, that's the same. That has the same outcome. So let's copy this. So reject, 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 and accept, 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 and so on. All accept. So as long as I accept here, then it's okay. I can reject somewhere where I don't. Yes. So I can always say that I reject. So I can change all of them to reject. It doesn't affect my brother's action. So my brother will still choose 3, and I'm just rejecting where it doesn't matter, right? So it's off equilibrium. So the only thing we need to check is if I change to reject, will my brother switch to doing this? Obviously not. But the one thing that you don't want to make that mistake is that if I change this to accept, then it's not good, because if I change from reject to accept, then my brother is getting more from this. This is getting 3 and 6, so my brother is getting 6. This is 2 and 7, so my brother will get 7 if I accept here. So if I switch this, this is off equilibrium, but if I make this R to A, then my brother will switch his action as well. So this is moving the equilibrium path. So this is not what we want. So we want to stay in the same equilibrium outcome. So we don't want to make the first player switch his action. So the only thing that can be changed is change some of the A's to R's when it's larger, but not on the other side. So that's the Nash equilibrium. So if you change a subset of these, it's okay. So some of them A, some of them R is perfectly okay. But you cannot change anything here, basically. So the other one is actually, you want a different equilibrium. So it's no longer 3. This is reject, 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 and accept, and so on. So again, we start with the SP, and then we modify this somehow, and then try to make it a Nash equilibrium. So the first thing I can do is I can reject here. Then what my brother will do is my brother will actually change. So this, I get rejected. This is the first time I get accepted. So this is 4. So this one is a Nash equilibrium. However, this one is also an SP. So, well, it's okay if you do this on the exam, it's okay. So, but you can move further, right? So you can also reject this. Then my brother will propose even more for me, because if my brother proposes 4, then he'll get rejected. So 4 is not the best response actually. So that's why I can move further, but not that much, because if I after 6, then my brother will only get 3. So if I force my brother to propose 7, then my brother would want me to reject as well. So that's not going to work. So only 4, 5, and 6 would work. All the other ones are not working. So what I mean is, so for the one here, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, so it's 5. So the 4 you saw is okay, and the 6 is just reject, 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 and reject, and then we accept everything afterwards. So from this, I'll propose 6 to my sister, I'll get 3 myself. So I'm really indifferent between proposing this and getting rejected. So, I mean, that sentence is not right, but anyways, only 4, 5, and 6 works here. 7 is not possible because my brother would want me to reject it. So that's that question. And which one? So this is the same as the the corresponding question in version B. So of course C is better. So C is the SPE. That's the first thing you write. D is not credible threat. So I'm threatening my brother that I will reject. But actually, if my brother actually picks that proposal, I will not reject. So that's not credible. And also C is better for my brother than D. So combining these 3 reasons, C is more likely. So I'll say that player A will choose the action in C.